As
Roadhouse
always, I want
Mex
to thank you
super
for
chatted $9.99. Inaba posted a video about Snapshoteye calling him the most dangerous creeper
Oh,
on TikTok.
no,
I'm
dude.
so tired of how this dude sensationalizes every single story.
Oh no, dude! I watched the video on that guy the other day, and it seemed like overblown. Maybe I never put stuff in his videos that I just don't know about. I'll take a look after this, brother. How's that sound? I guess you guys want me to take a look at this, huh?
Eggy to 9 billion super chatted 99 cents.
Ooh, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. All right, man. So somebody popped in here upset about this video about from iNabber. It's called it's this guy. It's about this guy from TikTok. Snapshoteye, the most dangerous creep on TikTok. I looked into this guy the other day. I watched another video about him, and it seems like a lot of the stuff is incredibly and bizarrely overblown. Then again, it's also possible that the individual who made the video didn't like put enough information in there to make it reasonable. And you know, iNabber's a good guy, so maybe he puts like a really solid amount of like work on that. So we're gonna take a look and see if we missed anything, and then you know, yeah. So let's get this started from iNabber.
Hello there, my friends. It's 2023. Congratulations, you've made it. But what hasn't made it is your attention span, because once again, you're procrastinating watching another YouTube video when you should probably be doing something actually productive. It's a new year. What are you doing? Sort yourself out. But either way, don't do it right now because we're here. We're here now. So let's get into this. Now, my friends, over the years, I've made a lot of videos. I've spoken about a lot of topics, and I've definitely spoken about a lot of people. But one thing I've noticed in all of these videos is that it seems that accidentally I have primarily focused speaking about people that hail from the land of the free. Now, you may say the free what? I don't know. It's definitely not healthcare. But yes, I have been speaking about a lot of Americans. But today, that's going to change. It's certainly going to change because today we are speaking about a man who was so cursed that he was genuinely not even allowed in Mordor. This man is, oh God, it's so bad. My friends, I need to genuinely give you a warning because I'm about to introduce you to a world of a man who you will probably regret knowing by the end of this video. And I'm going to give you, before we go into anything, a quick lowdown of this mystery man and all the things that he has been accused of in the last 6 months.
So that's the biggest issue, is that there's a lot of accusations without any like actual proof. That kind of bothers me about this whole situation so far. So
alone. This mysterious man has a plethora of things surrounding him, such as allegedly getting a teenager pregnant when he was 27 years old. Wow.
Yeah, so that allegation that I saw, this was the allegation. Yeah, apparently he got a girl that was either 16 or 17 pregnant when he was 27, and the evidence is that there's a picture on Facebook and the girl looks young. That is nothing to me. That's not very much. That's the problem I had with that one. Then the other ones are like, he wanted to go out. He tried to go out with his 19-year-old fans. And it's like, oh, okay. They're adults. Oh, when he was in when he worked at his old folks home, he said that he would, he would like hug and kiss the old folks there on the cheek. Oh, okay. And it's like, I know that these things aren't allowed in those old folks homes, but I also understand that the old, like that people are people, and so I could be like, it's not ideal if he got fired from his job for it. Like, okay, whatever, I don't care about that. That's probably what should happen. But I also understand that a lot of the people in these homes are like very touch starved and very like emotion starved because their family like leaves them there, and this is the kind of stuff that like they're like, oh, like this makes me feel better. It's not right to do, but like from a moral perspective, I don't think that he's this horrible guy. I doubt that it was against these people's will. It's just like a technicality that you shouldn't do these things because you're not supposed to develop like a very close connection with the client. It's just like a very human thing. Again, if he got fired for it, he probably should. It can become something. But I don't think that there was like any type of predatorization there. I don't think that there's enough to call that. So
he sounds like a lovely chap. I should not say that. But then he was also accused of liking multiple 16-year-olds' Instagram photos, making a lot of weird comments in his past, calling 16-year-olds yummy, and also allegedly doxing people who dare to criticize him. But also, it doesn't end there. He was accused of flirting with teenagers, meeting
We'll have to see that because I haven't seen any of this stuff. Maybe the other guy just didn't have like a whole lot of information out there.
Up with somebody he thought was 19 but was actually 32, and also using cancer as a way to deflect from serious allegations. But it doesn't end there. He was also in a scandal because this little man decided to kiss old people who were merely in a retirement home. My friends, you may be thinking, I don't want to watch this YouTube video anymore. And honestly, I wouldn't blame you. Allow me to introduce you to British TikTok.
Like, basically, I just want to see a smile. Then there was a towel involved, and that towel was going to smile. And then you going to be in the towel smiling. I just want to see a smile. That's all I want to see. That's all. So, where's my smile? Hi. And yes, I'll see you in the towel. And a smile. Just a smile.
And now I understand, my friends, you're probably wondering who this suspicious-looking man actually is. Well, allow me to introduce you to Snapshoteye, also known as Paul Breach, also known as Beauty Beyond the Eye. And in this case, my friends, it well and truly is beyond the eye. Paul is pretty much somebody who has become one of the most controversial figures on the internet in the last few months. He's pretty much a walking meme in the UK at this point. Some of the biggest content creators out there, like the Sidemen, have even been speaking about him. Pretty much, Paul is absolutely everywhere, and not just in a social media aspect, but the bloke has been famed for kind of, I say famed, he's become infamous for walking around the UK and just appearing out of nowhere in a random place. One minute he's in Norwich, the next he's in London, the next he's in Leeds. He's everywhere. And I'm not sure how the man does it, but I'm actually starting to wonder, is this guy the next Doctor? Maybe, I don't know, but basically, Paul is not exactly a liked bloke. There's a lot of allegations of this man just being an outright creep on TikTok, and we're going to go through absolutely everything here, an entire timeline from start to finish. But the sad thing is, my friends, Paul never seems to help himself in any situation that he's ever involved in. Throughout this video, you may kind of notice the pattern that this man seemingly makes every single situation possible even worse by like tenfold, and that means that before we go into anything, we need to discuss legalities.
I've spent this morning phoning up my union and seeking legal advice, and for that I will have to spend a bit of money, but I will go down the route of legal side of things, because I've never said
Roadhouse
don't
Met
take
super chatted $1.99. I love I can comment and you already watch it. Amazing.
Well, you let me know, and if I got something wrong for my last video, then I obviously want to check this out. So
Never said that it's not a joke, you can banter, you can mimic me, you can do that stuff, but it's gone beyond any of that with some of the disgusting, heinous things that some of you think you have the right to say about me. So, I will be going down the legal side of things to see what happens.
Well, I mean, if he's innocent, I suppose that, like, I could see why he would have this response. Okay.
Because you cannot get away with what you're saying.
Now, my friends, as somebody that's regularly covered a lot of dramatic situations on my channel, whenever I see somebody filing a defamation lawsuit, I can't help but think it implies a certain level of guilt. That might sound a little bit weird, but honestly, when somebody...
I don't. I mean, not for nothing, but, like, I think it's weird from, like, an optics. We're like, well, if you did something wrong, you can't defend yourself to the fullest extent, or else you look guilty. That's bizarre. It's just a bizarre thing to me. I personally don't, it doesn't trigger like, oh, they must be lying. Because, like, how do you win that? Like, let's say these accusations are completely false and this person's getting completely dunked on. And then the argument's like, well, yeah, I feel like, but if they defend themselves too hard, like if they defend themselves, then they probably did it. It's like, well, how do you win that? You know what I mean? I feel like that's frustrating. That would be very frustrating to me, personally. So, I don't know.
Like Paul is threatening small anonymous accounts or people that don't have significant platforms who are merely speaking about allegations out there about him, why would he sue them? Why not just come out and disprove things? Because these allegations, my friends, are viral.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? If there's no proof in the first place, then how can you disprove that thing? You know, and I'm not saying that there's no proof. What I mean is, like, how do you disprove it if there's no proof in the first place? And I'm not saying that he's innocent. I'm just saying, like, it's a real question. So,
a lot of people know about these things. Paul is pretty much widespread known for allegedly being a nonce at this point, so why would you just go and sue random people that speak about it rather than just coming out and disproving these things? Disproving something is so much more productive than silencing somebody. In my opinion, threatening to silence people is just an implication of guilt. But bearing in mind, my friends, it's obviously not like that in every case. But alas, my friends, what I'm basically trying to say here is that... But bearing in mind, my friends, it's obviously...
Is my wife of an OnlyFans? No, dude. You're so stupid.
It's not like that in every case. But alas, my friends, what I'm basically trying to say here is this video is an opinion piece. This is not factual, and you should not take this video as 100% authentic truth. This is my opinion.
Okay, well, I'm going to go pee. Will say, though, if you're saying it's all an opinion-based, it sounds like you may not have facts. I'll be right back. Give me like 2 seconds. No, I did not wash my hands, obviously. I'm trying to get back. I don't wash my hands for you guys.
Please don't take this as gospel, and do not harass people based on the information, based on my opinions that I give in this video. Thank you very much. Paul, please leave me alone. Oh, and also I thought I'd just say, Paul seemingly has the habit of doxing people and contacting the employees of people that...
You should... Oh, I was muted that whole time. I was muted that whole time, my bad. I was saying, I came back. One of my followers can see that I was inspecting his gear in the game. It's kind of funny. Anyway, let's get this going.
Information based on my opinions that I give in this video. Thank you very much. Paul, please leave me alone. Oh, and also I thought I'd just say, Paul seemingly has the habit of doxing people and contacting the employees of people that like to speak about the alleged actions that Paul has actually supposedly committed. So,
well, I mean, listen, you shouldn't dox anybody or do those things at all. But what I will say is if he's innocent and people are constantly asserting that he's guilty, I mean, like, you know, what do you want me to tell you? If people are giving him false accusations about these things, then, you know, like, what, I don't care if he's doing those things to them. You know what I mean? But, okay, yeah.
But I would just have to say, Paul, if you want to do that, firstly, I live in London. Secondly, I used to work at Morrison's. It's quite a sad life I've got, I know. But yeah, if you want the information, there you go, mate. And one final thing before we go into this timeline. I'm very sorry. I know there's been a lot of build up to getting here, but we kind of needed this because there is so much that we're going to go through. But one last thing. Could you please subscribe? YouTube have just been hitting me recently. Not only is this a new TOS thing, but now I'm getting age restricted for things which just make no sense. And
yeah, no, that's what's happened. They're doing this whole big old... What's happening?
Demonetized, so please.
Right. They're doing this whole big old thing on YouTube now where they're hitting people pretty hard. I just went today. I looked because I saw the Moist Gurgle video. I'm like, I didn't really get impacted. I didn't get any impacted recently for the most part. I got impacted historically though. I looked back like 7, maybe up to 10 videos on my this channel were like, you know, yellowed. So I had a review monetization on that. And then I went on my other channel and oh boy, I said, you know what? It's not even worth it at this point. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. Oh,
please subscribe. I am on my knees, and please also like this video and comment down beans below. Seriously, you do not understand how much it helps the channel because I'm getting hit left, right, and center at this point, and it's genuinely depressing because these videos cost money to make. They take a lot of effort, and I love making them, but it is very demotivating when your own platform just hinder you, especially in videos like this when we are giving very important information. So please be a lovely old chap and subscribe. But alas, let's get into the first part of this video. The really, really awful stuff. Now, my friends, just like all good stories do, but in this case, absolutely horrific stories, there is typically an origin, a beginning to the story to how this man was actually created. And scientists are kind of try and conduct and work out how this man came to be. But, you know, there was the origin of the social media platform of Snapshoteye. And in this case, the origin of Paul Breach starts off in 2022. Midway through that year, there were the European Football Championships. And Paul took it upon himself to create a song for footballer Jack Grealish, where it went down like this. And my friends, if you've got hearing problems, just put those hearing aids and turn them down. Because nobody needs to hear this. Please, for the love of God, just do it. And if you've got kids, maybe just turn the sounds down. And not because they might hurt their ears, it's just, they might get PTSD. No, I can't say that. I can't, sorry. That was a joke, I think.
Do you remember? Before the Euros, there was a footballer. But nobody knows. Now it's the World Cup. And he scores his goal. His name was Jack Grealish. His name was Jack Grealish. And you're like, he's my bubba. Oh, he's my boo 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 boo. Oh, he's my bubba. He's my boo 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 boo. Come on, England.
Definitely cringe. And you know, obviously, like that deserves the death penalty, I guess. You know? That's cringe, but okay, whatever.
Now, I'm not going to give an opinion on that lovely rendition of whatever that was. I'm just going to instead read the comments on this video, TikTok, YouTube short. If you really use YouTube shorts, I'm just going to show you the comments to kind of give you the understanding of what even back then, before the controversial stuff came in with Paul, what people were thinking about this man. Check his hard drive. I'm recoiling just watching that. It is disgusting.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's just listen. I know we're not too far into it, but I did watch another video on it. The fact that they, based on just a random video that was before any allegations, they were telling people to check their hard drive. I feel like, don't you think that maybe like people have kind of made it, that just suggests to me that people are making this decision about him unfairly and like instantaneously. You know, I mean, if people are saying this before he's ever actually done anything. If he, like, that just okay, I'm trying to say is that if somebody looks at somebody and goes, oh, that must be a pedophile, and they made this decision, the narrative was there before he allegedly did anything, which would just cause people to like think he did it at a greater intensity if he may not have actually done it. It just feels weird.
The way he talks makes me feel like he's trying to groom me. And yes, that probably is the most ironic yet also suspicious comment. What did you know? What did you know? But yes, these comments, honestly, they're not really too good. And this was before, as I said, anything really came out about this guy. These people just basically saw this guy as cringy. He was somebody that was doing weird songs and weird dances. And yes, it's nothing criminal, but honestly, sometimes I do wonder, should we put TikTok musicians in prison? Maybe. But, you know, Paul gained a lot of followers from this. He became very popular on the app, and just in general, people started...
Yeah, he became very popular because he's cringe, and that's how, like, a lot of these things happen. Honestly, I honestly wouldn't doubt if this guy had some kind of, like, intellectual or developmental disability, like, high-functioning, but it kind of reads like that. But then again, I struggle to read people that are, like, with, like, English accents. I'm not even trying to be rude or anything.
to like the guy. It was a fascinating process, but alas, it was somewhat of a process. But my friends, like all good things, they eventually come to an end. Well, I don't really know if we could call this whole TikTok thing a good thing, but it certainly came to an end in mid-2022 when some resurfaced posts from Paul.
There's been a lot of rumors going around about an underage girl who got pregnant. Her birthday is November 1990. These photos are from April 2008. So wouldn't she be 18? She would have been 17 in 4 months-ish. Whereas visible bump, I don't know how they got together. Yeah, that's obviously very... I mean, if it's true, I don't know if we can confirm that or not. That's definitely not good. The unfortunate reality, though, is that, like... The age of consent over there is 16, so, you know, we gotta say, if you have an issue with anything, it has to be that more than anything else. But did we confirm that she's 17?
To do with a lot of suspicious activity started to come around. And what does that really relate to? Well, my friends, allow me to introduce you to the topic of teen pregnancy. Now, my friends, teen pregnancies are something that do happen in the world. You know, if you're a teen mum watching this video right now, comment down below. Don't do that. That would be a bit weird. But yeah, teen pregnancies, they exist in the world, don't they? And usually with teen pregnancies, in most cases, a teenager would get pregnant with another teenager. But in some sad situations, in some alleged situations, I must say, a teenager gets pregnant with a 27-year-old. Here's some proof of Paul getting a teen girl.
Well, that's not really proof that she's actually... Like, that's the thing. Is there actual evidence of this? Like, do we know which would... Or are we just saying, like, this is a person who said that this thing happened, but do we know... Can we confirm this stuff? You know, also, if they're born in 1990, I'm born in 1990. I'm 32 years old. So this happened like 12 or 13 years ago. Social landscape was way different back then. You know, and like, I'm not trying to justify it. Is this the dungeon I fucking queued for? Whatever. But like the social landscape, nobody cared about this like years ago. This is not the dungeon I queued for. Maybe I did. Okay, whatever.
Girl pregnant. Wow, I really love influencers. I really do. Now, my friends, this allegation is pretty much the biggest thing currently surrounding Paul. This thing is obviously absolutely everywhere, and so many people out there know about this. To cut a long story short, Paul was accused of being 27 and allegedly getting a 17/16-year-old pregnant, which somehow isn't technically illegal in the United Kingdom. But my friends, as I've said multiple times when covering terrible people on this YouTube channel, the law doesn't necessarily dictate morals. I, as a 25...
It does kind of, though, like, unfortunately. Like, that's the thing, is that was where we kind of derive our morals from. So if you have the law, which is the ultimate moral code, saying, this is okay, it signals to people that it's okay. Like, I know that it's uncomfortable. It's good that we're like, yeah, that's not okay, because it shouldn't be okay. But we also, you know, it's one of those things where it's like a systemic issue more than anything else, and we shouldn't be... I think it's good to be, you know, hesitant of people like this, especially nowadays, but understand that this happened apparently 15 years ago. So even then, people, whether you like it or not, people did not give a fuck about this. They should have, but they didn't, because she's my age, 1990. That's where I was born. So like, she's old. So this was a long time ago. It's just something to keep in mind. When it comes to morally chastising something, we can think an action is wrong without thinking somebody is a predator for that action. You know, it gets a little complicated there, but...
Old man, almost 26, I'm getting old, please help. But as a 25-year-old man, I know that being a 27-year-old man getting a 16/17-year-old pregnant is obviously wrong, because a 16/17-year-old is also a child, but the age gap there is just...
Yeah, but again, this was 15 years ago. Like, I just need people to understand, like, how it's good that we've changed very quickly, but like, this wasn't the sentiment back then. Just saying. Okay.
Pretty horrific. And naturally, because of this allegation, a lot of people started to become a bit concerned when it came to Paul and the platform that he currently
and again,
has.
It's
because people were deeming this guy as, yes, a TikTok predator. Wow, we've got another one. I can't say we've got another one. People think we've got another one. Please, lawsuits? No, please, thanks very much. But yes, people think that this guy was a predator, somebody that abuses his platform to take advantage of his young fans. And people were very worried that...
Why? Based on something he did 15 years ago? Like, I feel like that's a little bit of an exaggeration, no?
After something like this, Paul would go and act again by chasing around young fans. And maybe that's why...
Are they young fans that are still adults, or are they young fans that are kids? Because these are two very... Because my understanding is that these kids were 19. I know that they're young, but it's legal, you know?
He's all around the country at the moment. I can't say that, but maybe. And my friends, based on what a lot of people have been saying about the bloke, I think those worries can actually be backed up and just pushed even further based on the fact that Paul himself has been caught liking photos of 16/17-year-old girls on Instagram. And I do have to reiterate...
How do you know that they're 16 or 17, though? Because somebody that, again, like, I watched a video on this, and the person wasn't even able to really prove that. It's just weird. Like, I don't know how much the, you know... truth there is. It might be true. I don't really know. Can he show? I just want to like, can he prove it? It's so annoying. Just hope he can.
This man is in his 40s. He should be working in Birdseye. If you're American, it's basically where we kill chickens. I would like to apologise to all Birdseye workers, but alas, he should be working a job. He shouldn't be liking photos of 16-year-old girls on Instagram in bikinis. I think a lot of people can naturally have their worries, even intensified by that. And also, the allegations that this man has a peculiar love for teenagers can only really be intensified by his own Instagram actions. But yes, as I've said,
did I just miss him showing the actual age of these people? Because I feel like he didn't. Like,
the biggest allegation surrounding Paul at the moment. But the problem is that all the evidence is kind of spread around the internet. And honestly, I've heard this story a million times at this point. But before even researching this video, I had no idea where these rumors were circulating from. I just knew that people were calling this guy nonce for teen pregnancy related reasons. So what I want to do here is go through the actual evidence and timeline of this specific part and work out, is this actually true? And by true, I mean true in my opinion, because yes, this video is an opinion piece and should not be taken as factual. I'm making a video about British.
I feel like it's just not something we should be having opinions on, like, publicly, because it could be very dangerous if the person's innocent. It's not really a good thing.
People, and you can really tell that my Britishness is coming out. This video is an opinion piece, is what I'm trying to say. It's not fact. Please believe.
I'm apprehensive by how often you're saying this is an opinion. Like, I feel, why do you feel the need to, like, it just feels like you're operating off of zero information if you're constantly asserting that this is just your opinion. I don't know, man, but okay.
Well, my friends, all of these rumors originate from Paul's son's mother's friends. I know that doesn't really sound legit, but that's where it comes from. Pretty much a friend of the mother leaked a Facebook post from Paul's Facebook in 2008. And usually I would be a little bit against leaking private Facebook stuff, but honestly, this Facebook post has been posted everywhere at this point. I've seen it all over TikTok with hundreds of thousands of views, millions of views. So I don't really think I'm doing anything necessarily immoral here, especially when this regards to, you know, horrific actions. Basically, the post stated that there's been a lot of rumors going around that an underage girl got pregnant via Paul. Her birthday is in November 1990. These photos are from April 2008, and she would have been 17 and 4 months here with a visible bump. And yeah, this is seemingly somewhat true here. When you look at these photos, you can see that there is Paul with a girl, and there is a timestamp of 2008, and Paul is noticeably younger here, so I really don't doubt that this is 2008. But the funny fact is he still looks like a middle-aged man 15 years ago. And this guy is being caught liking 16-year-olds Instagram. I'm sorry, but it just makes you feel a little bit ill, but I'll continue. Yes, so there is these posts here, and the problem is that on the baby bump post, there is not a date, but then when you look at the photos where there is a date, the clothing does seem pretty identical to the pictures, but there is another problem here. Just because these photos are in 2008 doesn't necessarily confirm that this person is a 17-year-old at the time. Given what we've got here, we do have very much proof that Paul was in a relationship with somebody and that this person was pregnant, but the problem is that there is no confirmation of age. So at this point, honestly, I would say it's looking pretty good for Snapshoteye. And my friends, I understand a lot of people are going to be thinking, Fraser, are you defending Paul Breach? I'm not. But what I'm saying here is at this point.
Well, I mean, if he's innocent, then yeah, you should defend him. Like, I just that's like the weird nature of these things, man. Is it's like, are you defending somebody who might be innocent? Nah, I would never. Because you guys have already decided he's guilty, so I have to. You know what I mean? That's what it kind of reads as. You know, just because he's a weird guy doesn't mean that he did these things.
In the timeline, things aren't really that bad. All Paul really needs to do is come out and say, you know what, boys, this is all a load of codswallop. These new YouTube TOS, I cannot swear anymore. It's difficult. But basically, all Paul needs to do is come out and say, these whole allegations about me are absolutely not true. These things have no factual evidence behind them, besides a few Facebook posts, and no...
I think that's what he said, no? Isn't that what he said, like, multiple times? Isn't that why he's trying to sue people? Is that his argument? Holy fuck, I'm actually gonna get poo-pooed on. Okay.
Nobody out there can prove that the woman in that photo was indeed around 17/16 years old. But the problem is, Paul didn't do that! Why is my voice cracking? Paul didn't do that.
What did he do?
He didn't do that. Paul actually only incriminated himself even more! Like, why would you do this? I'd love to know what was going through your... can't swear. Through your mind. I'd really, really, really love to know, Paul Breach, Snapshoteye. Why would you do what you did? Because all Paul had to do was say no. As I said, he just had to say no, but Paul responded in the weirdest way possible.
Are you ready for the question?
I'm ready for the question.
Someone said, did you get a 17-year-old pregnant?
Okay.
Did I get who pregnant?
A 17-year-old pregnant.
I thought I got a 15, 16, 20, 19, 18, 14, 10.
Any normal human being would get that question and just respond with, oh, well, no. They wouldn't go, oh, well, no, that was 15, it was 16, it was 17, I thought it was 14. No.
That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is that everybody's making up a different story, and so he's like, oh, I thought it was this age, I thought it was this age. He's mocking the people that came up with the story that, by his account, is incorrect. He's not actually saying, oh, I thought that, like, he's very also clearly frustrated, which I think anybody would be if they felt like they were getting falsely accused of being like some kind of a predator.
You don't say that. You're 42 years old, maybe even older. I don't know how old you are. You may be 60 for all I know, but you're definitely above the age of 14. And when you're accused of getting a kid pregnant, because they are a kid legally by British law, technically child still, when you get accused of that, you need to actually not, I can't swear, but not make a joke about it. This is really difficult to not swear. But what I'm saying here is when you respond how he responded, it's weird.
Not really, I don't think so, given the circumstances.
And then the responses get even weirder when an alleged response came out from Paul in a screenshotted Instagram DM where somebody once again asked him about this and Paul just laughed, saying that he was in love and they bought a house together after spending years together.
Yeah, he's mocking the situation. Like, I don't think that there's anything he could do to win this. It doesn't mean that he's innocent, but he's mocking it there. He's not saying he did it. He's just like, this is stupid because people are, by his account again, lying about him. And so, like, what is he supposed to do? Nobody, God damn it, nobody's going to believe him anyway. That's just kind of his argument.
And asked them about this, and Paul just laughed, saying that he was in love and they bought a house together after spending.
What about the very real evidence that you got a 16 or a 17-year-old girl pregnant? I don't know if you blocked me and not answer the question. The fact that you guys can't get like a firm age on the person is something. Evidence: we were in love and bought a house together. And okay, I don't really know what that means, but
years together. And yeah, these DMs could be. Paul just laughed, saying that he was in love and they bought a house together.
Evidence: we were in love and had a house together and spent years together. But you know, never mind for fucking shit. What planet are you on? Still goodbye. Yeah, it's not really a response, but okay.
After spending years together, and yeah, these DMs could be fake. They definitely could. But based on his response in that, and you know, more things we're going to go into after this, I wouldn't be surprised if these were real. They seem how he writes his messages, and yes, again, they could be fake. Okay. But just based on everything that I'm going to go through, honestly, I really would not be shocked if these were real. Because after being questioned by these two girls, Paul decided to then have an outright meltdown. Paul, rather than responding to an allegation so severe and serious like the ones he was receiving and denying them, rather than doing that, he deleted all of his social media and went onto his Facebook, which seemingly was leaked. And I usually would be against leaking posts on people's private Facebook, but this has been seen by everybody at this point. It's not really new information. In fact, none of this is. I'm just trying to put it into a timeline which can actually be watched all at once for understanding. But yes, he went onto his Facebook and said this. To anybody that I know in actual real life, I'm sorry if I hurt or disappointed you. My social media has rocketed beyond the rounds of normal, and the amount of trolling and harassment on me and people I know has reached such ridiculous levels that I've had to step away from what I'm doing. Are they internet trolls, Paul, or are they people saying, did you get a kid pregnant? Because the thing is he's calling these people trolls, harassers, whatever you want to say, just bad people. But it's like, those two girls in that interview weren't harassing him. Paul, you know, consented to coming on that live stream and answering questions.
Are you ready for the question?
I'm ready for the question.
And there was even more questions that he did answer on that stream. So I'm kind of confused at how he's going to call people harassers for when he got himself into this position and he gave the worst possible response.
My question is how many times did he answer this question beforehand? Because if this wasn't the first time he answered that question and people are still insisting that he did it, and again, maybe he did, but then I could see why he would be kind of annoyed then at that point, because he's like, I've answered this so many times, people won't let it go, and I give them my response. So like, what is he supposed to do at that point? I think that would be his argument.
Yeah, think a response like that's going to garner. Do you think people are going to clap and say, oh, Paul, you're so bloody funny. Can you do the green grass dance on TikTok again? I bloody love that. Nobody ever said that, especially that second part. Nobody ever said that. People would hear you say what you said and think, oh my God, this makes it even worse and even more likely that those horrible things are actually true. And that's very, very bad because this guy has a huge platform and he follows lots and lots of girls on Instagram. And you know, that's going to lead to some horrible things. So yeah, why are you saying this, Paul? This is a stupid, stupid post, but it does continue. I don't know what I'll do or where I'll end up. Probably in a prison cell, my friends. Hopefully.
Probably not.
That's my opinion.
No, like at the end of the day, even if this is true, this was what, like, it's legal technically, right? And this was 15 years ago, so I don't think that he would end up in jail, but...
By the way. So let's continue. But I do care, and I'm sorry for strangers contacting you or harassing you and the negativity that has been brought to your lives. My life isn't the same and never will be the same as it was. Just please accept my apology. Now, my friends, if I showed somebody that post, they'd think, oh, what did he say on Twitter back in 2019? That was 4 years ago now. We are going to die soon. But yeah, you'd say, what silly political opinion did he have? No, it was a response to, oh, sorry guys, people think that I'm a nonce, and I'm sorry. Weird to a weird response, and honestly, as I said, it really only makes things look a million times worse for the bloke. But then, my friends, as you could probably imagine, it gets even weirder and weirder. Because Paul also went on to his Snapchat story, and honestly, having a public Snapchat as an influencer is a jail sentence in itself. Guaranteed, you're in the slammer, my friends. He went on his public Snapchat story and just started crying. Like, mate, I'm not one for toxic masculinity, but you're 40 years old, son. What are you doing? You've seemingly got a kid. That's the main thing here. Well, they're going to grow up and see my daddy cried on Snapchat because people were calling him a big stinking nonce.
Well, wouldn't you? No? Like, if you weren't a pedophile and people were calling you a pedophile, wouldn't you get upset? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's normal. No? I mean, we're getting fucking shitted on right now. Holy moly. I think we have to clear the ads faster.
If I was that child, I would probably, get the adoption papers out and say, Dad, could you please sign these?
Guys, thanks for your messages. Just don't reply. Just thanks for the advice and telling me what to do. Alright?
Look, I don't think I really need to give critical analysis on this Snapchat. It's just weird. It's just mental. Like, everything we've seen here, asked a fairly calm question. They weren't like, did you do this? Are you this horrific person? They were just like, yeah, did you get that person? Was that major allegation everyone's speaking about? Was it true? They just said that. They didn't, go after this guy and go absolutely crazy. They were just being fairly, calm with the guy. If anything, they were being nice to him. But he's then taken that and just had a mental breakdown of epic proportion. You'd think, his whole family had died or something, but no, he was just asked a question which he could not answer. That's the thing. If Paul then comes onto social media after that and says, oh no, I actually did do those things, well, I'm just going to see it as damage control, because the first time you were called out on it, well, not the first time, but the main times you were called out on it, you didn't give a response.
If it's not true, why is he mad? Because if everybody is telling you that you're a pedophile when you're not, unlike in general, you would become fucking hysterical and it would frustrate you. I got frustrated when I made that joke, the old enough to bleed, old enough to read, and I said thank you very much to Andres Lopez because he allegedly slept with their 14-year-old at 23. And people were calling me a pedophile because they didn't a lot of people would cut out the end part of that joke. It gets frustrating. It makes you angry. I mean, you're asking oh, why do people have this the wrong response when they're getting literally gaslit? It's yeah, I wonder why, man. It's frustrating. So.
Or an answer, you just joked around and avoided the question. The fact you can't even lie about it and say, oh no, again, I have to say that was lies in my opinion. The fact you can't just...
Well, yeah, but how do you know he didn't beforehand? Maybe he said that 100 times, and then this was the one time he's fuck, I don't care anymore. And now we're oh, he never did this. It's well, did he? Did he not? Do we actually know?
Say no, even if you were lying, it's just insane to me and really just to scream guilt. But my friends, it even gets a bit weirder, nothing criminal, but I get nothing criminal, I think, but when you go back to the live stream, Paul gets asked if he's dating anybody at the moment, and he does confirm that yes, he is indeed dating somebody 20 years younger than him. Again, not a crime, but let me just play this and explain what I've got to say.
She's above 18. Are you going to tell us her specific age? Or...
Why does it matter?
She's in her 20s. Shock horror. Shock.
20s? She's in her 20s.
Huh?
Not 48.
Now, my friends, obviously, this isn't technically a crime, but honestly, whenever I see somebody...
Should never be a crime if you're above 18. Why? I mean, it's not technically a crime. What is it that you would say about it? What's the... Okay.
In their 40s or just late 50s or 60s, or somebody who's older, dating somebody significantly younger than them, I can't help be creeped out regardless of if it is legal or not. Because a 42-year-old man has no business in dating somebody possibly 20 years younger.
So, for me, I think it's very immature. What do you have in common with, somebody that's 20 years younger than you, right? That's my biggest thing. But, I'm just not creeped out of just, okay, that is what it is. But, why are you creeped out by it? What is it that creeps you out by it?
Than them. But also, you then have to take that factor and look at the fact that Paul has been caught liking 16/17-year-olds Instagram photos.
Well, she says this girl's 19. How do we know she was 16? I'm confused.
You go for his Instagram following, and
this girl says she's 18. What do you mean? What?
A lot of the people there, in fact, most of the people are very, very young.
Wait, what? Wait, this girl's 19, though.
You go for his Instagram following.
This girl's 18. What?
And a lot of the people there, in fact, most of the people are very, very young, significantly younger than
this girl's 19. What the fuck? All three of them are 18 or older. You're saying that they're 16. Are you trying to gaslight me? What's happening right now? Wait, I'm actually shitting right now. Wait, why did you say that they were 16? They're all three of them have their age is 18 and 19 years old. What do you mean? I'm very confused right now. I'm very confused.
This man has a very well-documented history of DMing younger people, sliding into their DMs.
Who cares?
Which aren't necessarily NSF.
As long as they're adults, who cares? Oh my god, dude, come on. This is nuts. I feel like this is nuts. Okay.
W. But again, this man has no business in DMing people so much younger than them who he doesn't really know. It's not a family member. It's not a close family.
Who cares if he doesn't know them? That's why you would DM somebody. No, as long as they're adults, I don't give a shit. Like, who fucking cares?
Family friend. It's just people who he follows when this guy is 40 years old. All Paul has with these people is a significant power dynamic. He's got...
Who cares? Who cares if he has a power dynamic unless he uses that power dynamic? Literally, like, make a video about groupies and how they're being like fucking raped every day or something if you actually care about this power dynamic argument, because there's a whole field of people that are groupies. People like people who are perceived as famous or successful. This guy's certainly weird, but if they were more likely to talk to him because he was famous, that doesn't mean he's using his power dynamic in a way that's abusive in any capacity. If he says, I'll give you something or I'll take something away from you if you don't, or if you do whatever with me, then we're talking about him leveraging his power dynamic, and that's like an issue for sure. I get that. But, like, that's not what we're talking about here. So what's... Wow, I just got fucking dumpstered. Okay. Yeah, you get my point.
Followers, he's got the age, he has no relatability to these younger people. There just is a lot of building factors here to point towards the POV that, yes, this person does indeed have a certain liking for teenagers and young women, adults.
They're like all of the ones people you showed us are like, yes, they're technically in their teens, but like I wouldn't really call them teenagers. It just sounds like you're using very manipulative language. How is this happening to me right now, dude? What the fuck?
Seems that it's pointing in that direction, and when even being questioned and asked to respond about similar things such as liking a 16-year-old's bikini photos when he's in his 40s, Paul didn't deny it in a regular way. No, he used cancer as a deflection.
On my follow list on Instagram, I will keep liking your pictures. I will also say the lady's pictures that I've liked, like I said this morning, she suffered with cancer when she was growing.
I saw that, like, what they're talking about, but like they never were. Bro, how is this hitting me every time? They were never able to confirm the age of the person. Like I was trying to find their core thing, and I could never find it. Is this what we're talking about here?
To follow.
Deny it, respond about similar things such as liking a 16-year-old's bikini. Have a certain liking for teenagers and young women, adults. It seems that it's pointing in that direction. And when even being questioned and asked to respond about similar things such as liking a 16-year-old's bikini photos when he's in his 40s, Paul didn't deny it in a regular way. No, he used...
How come everybody hides this evidence when they bring this up? Why don't I understand? I've never seen somebody get hit with so many accusations with like literally no proof. It's actually insane. Actually insane.
Answer. As a deflection.
On my follow list on Instagram, I will keep liking your pictures. I will also say the lady's pictures that I've liked, like I said this morning, she suffered with cancer when she was growing up. So I will like the prom pictures because she survived to be prom. I will like the other pictures because she was confident at posting even though she'd recovered and was recovering from cancer.
I love how the bloke just doubles down. He's like, if you're on my following, I'm going to like all your photos. I'm coming for you. I'm going to like them all. I'm going to comment on them all. I'm going to comment heart emojis on all of them. And maybe we can go geocaching after that.
Oh, Cheeto asked what game it is? Oh, bro, shut the fuck up, Tez. All right, Papa, Cheeto asked you what game it is. Don't be so rude to not reply. Shut up. You fucking dick. It's World of Warcraft, my man.
I don't know what geocaching is. We'll get into that in a bit. But I love how he's just like, no, I am. I'm not taking this anymore, boys. I am going to continue. He's like Darth Vader. He's just storming through 16-year-old girls' Instagram. Allegedly. He did.
Yes, she suffered with cancer.
Now, using somebody's cancer as a deflection from people criticizing you for liking a bikini photo of a young teenager. Weird. Do you not have any shame? Like, surely there's an ounce of shame in your body which thinks that, oh, Paul, maybe you shouldn't use cancer as a way to deflect from this, because it's just wrong. Obviously, what's going on here actually is he did something which...
Yeah, unironically, what if Paul is, like, unironically autistic and actually, like, it actually means what he says there? You know, again, I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying that I don't know, something's a little off about the guy. It's possible. Maybe he actually means this weird thing that he says, or maybe it just never happened, and everybody's like operating off of zero information as like a way to like cancel somebody for content. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, people are obsessed with fucking sexual assault on the internet. Everything is sexual assault. All content is sexual assault. A ton of unverified information gets passed around. It's actually incredible. It's insane, like how we trivialize sexual assault on the internet so heavily. It's insane. It's upsetting, honestly. That's why it's just crazy, man. It really is. So I gotta be careful when you talk about this stuff.
is deemed as very, very inappropriate because a man who actually does not know this person, because that's what came out apparently, that yes, he did not know this person, a man who would like this post should not be doing this at the age he was at the time, and especially the age the girl was at the time. Which again, my friends, obviously isn't technically a crime, but shows that this guy has interest in younger women, which obviously points towards certain things. Because why is it's pretty simple. Why is a 40-year-old having so much attention with teenagers? But it just continues, my friends, when Paul's old social media got leaked, and this was a profile of when he was 23 years old, and my friends, it just
23, so like 17 years ago. Oh god.
It's just bad. It really is. And it only contributes even further to all the allegations here.
Why?
Because obviously, we're kind of painting a picture right now that this guy likes 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, just teenage girls. It's seemingly what we're trying to show here, again, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what you're trying to show, but it seems like a lot of them are like 18 and 19 years old. And like you guys aren't proving any of the ones that like are of a different age, so...
And on this profile, you can see that Paul described a 16-year-old girl as yummy. On this profile, you can see that Paul...
Oh, this girl's so yummy. She has the most amazing eyes. Yeah, that's inappropriate. Again, unfortunately, was this like 17 years ago? Yeah, or more than that? This was more than that, right? Because when that girl was allegedly 17, he was 27. So that means in 1990, he was 27. So if he's 23, then we're talking about... I have to do the math. Like 4 years, like 1986. Yeah, man, unfortunately, this is just like a testament. Like, nobody cared about this stuff back in the day, and it's such an unfortunate reality. I'm just very apprehensive about holding people back in the day to the same standards of like today. I'm not like, we don't have to think that what they did is like morally good. We should understand that when you live in a society that thinks that these things are morally good, then like obviously that's a recipe for disaster. I mean, that's the bigger issue more than anything else. So wow, are we dying? What's happening here?
Paul described a 16-year-old girl as yummy. So it's just weird. Why are you doing this? And now he has hundreds of thousands of followers. My God, there is so much stuff here. And in the UK law, obviously, none of this is technically criminal, I think. But again, you have to really focus on the fact that
Thanks, you brother.
A 16-year-old is a child. And my friends, I thought I'd just interject and say this isn't the only case of this on this app. It's not like it's a rogue rating, because that's what this website is. Pretty much, I guess, a rating place where you rate people's looks. He also rated another 16-year-old where he said, wow, I think that says it all. And then he also rated a 17-year-old, calling her gorgeous. And yeah, I think it's pretty clear what's going on here. Paul was around 23, 24, as I said. And you can clearly see that the...
How did we verify that this was Paul's account, by the way? Like, how do we know this is actually Paul? I'm just asking a real question.
Details on this profile very much do line up with everything to do with Paul Breach. So I'm kind of inclined to believe that this is more evidence pointing towards a certain direction. Now, obviously, none of this stuff necessarily proves the pregnancy with a 17-year-old thing, but given that the fact that this man has such...
Someone's calling you out, Cheeto. You said that iNever is a T channel. Somebody called you a T channel too, dude. How are you going to respond to these accusations, brother? How are you going to respond to those, dude?
A history with liking younger girls' photos, 16-year-old girls' photos, following so many young women and people who are still in their teen years. I just can't help but think that the pregnancy thing, in my opinion, probably is true, because 27-year-old Paul clearly had an interest. 23-year-old Paul clearly had an interest when he was saying they're yummy. To me, all the things point in one direction, and I think there is a serious problem happening here. I mean, even if it wasn't younger people, I still think there's a problem here of where Paul is so insistent on using his platform to become friends with his fans. I know it might be a little bit weird to say,
sure,
but I don't think influencers have much business in befriending.
To me, it seems like Paul might have a boundary issue. Like we talked about that before with the when he worked in like the old person's home. And like he was hugging them and kissing them. It probably was like consensual, but it's most likely against whatever guidelines that they operate on, because it could become like a really bizarre like issue with power dynamic, right? I don't think that he's a morally bad person for something like that, because I understand a lot of people are probably like they probably don't get very much like attention or anything really from any of their family, but like I can see like, okay, Paul struggles with like a boundary issue, which is not a good thing. So yeah, but I mean that's a different story than like trying to call him like some kind of predator, I feel.
every single fan. Now, I have become friends with fans. I not many, but I have some friends here and there who were a fan of my content, and also I am friends with other YouTubers that I was originally a fan of. I think it's fine to do it in small doses, but Paul's not doing it in small doses. This bloke is so unbelievably thirsty for younger women. And just like every other situation that we've gone through today, Paul has actually responded to people criticizing him for his interactions with fans, and yeah, his response was absolutely terrible.
I mean, I'm being told off for chatting on like social media as per usual. I'm not allowed to talk to anybody on social media now.
Mate, nobody is saying that you can't speak to people. Nobody is saying that, but I am saying you can't speak to Paul. I'm saying that you shouldn't use your platform how you do. It's very clear, based especially on your Instagram following, that you do follow a lot of younger women, a lot of younger teenagers. That I went through it. There's I couldn't really.
Can you show us like a single one that's under 18? I would genuinely want to see that. Damn, no good gear. But can you show that? That's very important to me.
Find more than 5 people above the age of 30 in Paul's Instagram following, and maybe there are more, there probably is, but just at a first glance, yeah, there's a lot of women here, and you know, I bloody love women. This sounds weird to say. I like women, but I think my entire Instagram following isn't just women. I think there are some guys in there, some MBs in there. You know, it's inclusive. There's more than just women.
I mean, like if the accusation is that this grown man likes other like 18 plus girls, I don't care. Like I mean, I'm tired of like the performative bro clutching over people. Like I don't care. Yeah, I think it's immature, but like immature isn't illegal.
I guess some men in this world. YouTube TOS, that was a joke. What I'm trying to say here, it's very obvious what's going on with this man's Instagram. You don't have to look any further than his following and his recent following to see that, yes, there is not really any dudes on here. And that says to me that...
Are any of these girls under 18?
Paul is basically using his Instagram as a way to...
Well, yeah, I guess 16 is the standard because that's where he lives. But still, I mean, the ones that are under 18, right?
Reach out to any woman that he sets his eyes on. And I am very sorry if you are one of those women. But yeah, he does this. And to me, it's an abuse of your platform, you know? It's not like he's having a random interaction with a fan. You know, he met somewhere...
Not an abuse of his platform. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, somewhere naturally. No, he is clear.
Why is he trying to convince us he likes women? I don't know, dude. Because being straight is fucking bad.
Using his Instagram in ways which I do not think is appropriate for a content creator or anybody that just has a significant platform or some form of fame. And yes, Snapshoteye does actually have some form of fame, and it's clear that in my opinion, he is abusing that by speaking to much younger girls, which again, I think correlates.
As long as they're legal, who cares? Why are we treating adult girls like children? Isn't that sexist? Not like unironically, it's sexist to treat a woman that's 18, an adult, like a child. Okay, so just saying, bro.
Towards the thing that we are originally speaking about and the main subject here of the teen pregnancy. I think that yes, Paul clearly has a lot of history with a lot of younger people, so it really would not surprise me if certain things were true. It even got to a point of where Paul was so desperate that he actually got catfished by a 32-year-old who was pretending to be a 19-year-old.
Who cares? They're 19. That person's pretending to be 19. Like, what does that catfish suggest to me? Like, I'm actually shitting and farting right now. Like, who cares? I don't understand. Who cares about that? I don't understand. Okay. He just 32-year-old pretending to be 19. Catfished him. Oh, okay. So what? Ah, well, you know. Who's the actual weirdo? Is it the guy who's trying to date a legal adult, or the girl who's pretending to be 19 instead of 32? I mean, they pretended to be a 19-year-old. Incredible stuff.
Come to some form of conclusion on this segment. There is, yes, no smoke without fire, and I think it's disgusting what this guy's doing with his platform. We can make all the jokes we want, but at the end of the day, you've got a creepy 42-year-old man who somehow, I guess the memes are happening here, because Paul is becoming such a joke that people just aren't willing to take this stuff seriously. But if it was somebody like James Charles, we'd be getting our pitchforks out and going crazy. Why does Snapshoteye weirdly get a pass? I know people will say that he doesn't.
You're acting like James Charles didn't get a pass. Nobody fucking, like, realistically, nobody really gives a shit about James Charles anymore. Like, that's the reality. I don't know. You want like you're acting like James, like there's a disproportionate energy. I don't really think so. Yeah. Okay. So.
But honestly, the fact that this guy, the only repercussions he's faced is being
point.
called a nonce every now and again, to me, is pretty insane. Again, this is all just my opinion, but this guy, merely when he was questioned about these things, literally pooed himself. Well, he didn't actually do that, but I do think that would actually be slightly less embarrassing than his actual response to things. Like, honestly, Paul, just do a TikTok of you pooing yourself. It would be magic.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know where I was going. Don't do that. But yes, basically what we have here is a guy that completely abuses his platform, and in regards to the pregnancy, I felt like I
still haven't showed us how he's abused his platform, okay?
To show all of you this, to kind of build up evidence to kind of back what everybody is saying about this man. Yes, there is nothing to directly prove that the person in the Facebook post was actually 17, but the question is, why would Paul just not deny it? Why would he weirdly go—
Yeah, it's not like this guy's is getting a pass either. He's getting harassed for being like a fucking predator when he's probably not one. There's literally no like actual evidence of it, other than a Facebook post without like the persons who he allegedly got pregnant at all.
Go all crazy on an Instagram live stream? Why would he do all of the things that he's done, have a breakdown, delete all of the social medias? Why would he follow so many younger people and have so many interactions? I can't help but come to the conclusion that this is a guy who outright abuses his platform, and in my opinion, I think the 17-year-old stuff is probably true. But my friends, that is, yes, the ending to the more serious part of this.
Good thing. Listen, brother, you're not taking these accusations very seriously if you have these perspectives on these things, so...
This video, and the fact that this man is indeed a complete utter creep, and you could probably click off this video with the opinion that you don't really need to hear anything else anymore, but sadly, my friends, it doesn't end there. No, things just continue to get grim and grimmer and grimmer. Because Snapshoteye is a different form of TikToker. This guy does not stop. Every single day this guy is posting a TikTok where I'm just like, man, I could make a YouTube video about this one TikTok, but he just has so much. And we're going to go through some of it, not all of it, because I don't really want to make a 9,000-hour YouTube video. So let's move on to the next part of Paul kissing old people in retirement.
Oh, no.
Help.
Give a resident a hug. I will give a side cheek kiss on the top of the head, because I am an affectionate guy. I know if I was Paul, you're sweaty. Oh. You must have it, man. So I am an affectionate guy. That's me. Side cheek, hug, people, treat them like human beings. Welcome to me.
Yeah, no thank you, Paul. I don't really want to be introduced to your big old smoochy woochies. I'd rather not be a part of that. And also, I've got a feeling that you've probably not got the nicest of breath, so please could you stay away from me. But the context here is pretty much Paul used to be a care worker, meaning that, yes, Paul used to work with old people, which is quite actually ironic given everything that we've said in this video. But yes, he was a care worker. He looked after a lot of old people, which, is a very respectable and commendable job. You have to do a lot of things which can make the average person quite uncomfortable in that role. But what makes the old people uncomfortable is getting a big old smooch on the forehead.
So yeah, like, I don't know. I guess that depends on the way that you're going to operate when it comes to talking about this topic. So you could assume, for whatever reason, that you think that he raped a kiss onto them. I don't know how else I would say that. Sorry, forcibly kissed them. Personally, doubtful. I doubt that that's what happened. Maybe. I mean, I think it's a little ironic that you think that he's like trying to only go for like little girls, but then somehow he also likes old women. That's a really interesting type that he has. I'm sure it could happen, but it kind of just feels like you're assuming the worst in any scenario. Like I said, and I'm probably right, I think I have the most reasonable take, is that what he's doing is technically against like whatever code, at least in America. I'm sure it's in England. It's usually like a violation. It's not a particularly good thing. You're not supposed to be getting into like intimate relationships in any capacity with residents. And so like that's why there's very strict like no like intimacy policy. My wife's a behavioral specialist. This is something that she's like, we've talked about this before. That being said, this is a lot of people who are very they're at nursing homes. They're not treated particularly well by their family. It's one of the reasons why they're at those nursing homes. They're probably attention starved, and they may even ask for this type of affection. Should you give it to them? Of course not. But the fact Paul is doing it suggests a boundary issue, not that he's a predator. Like, I wouldn't say that he's some kind of a predatory individual for that. Like, it's kind of heartbreaking when you have somebody that you're in your care say, can you please hug me, because they've had a really bad day and they haven't seen their family in months because their family doesn't actually love them or care about them. It sucks, man. And it's really hard for a lot of the people who work there to just be like, nah, fuck you. It's unfortunate. So, like, is it wrong? Absolutely. Do the laws exist for a reason? 100%. Do I think that means that he has to be some kind of predator? No, I think that that's ridiculous. I think that like we should start personalizing these things and getting a little bit more of a human element. Because like to me, it's very clear a lot of you guys that like believe these things without like understanding. You probably haven't gone outside too much or met people in different professions or careers or have like a particular understanding about the dynamics in these types of like situations. Because like I'm not going to instantly assume some kind of like, you know, he's doing a bad thing on purpose. Like again, shouldn't be doing it. But we're talking about, is he a bad person for it, or does he just like have a boundary issue? You know, no, you can't hug them. You cannot hug people in like any type of care facility. Touching people without their consent is creepy. Who says that it was non-consensual? Like, touching people without their consent. Why are you assuming that there's no consent involved here? Who left? Oh, okay. We lost our tank. Like, why are you assuming that there's no consent here? Nobody ever said that. I think that that's kind of an issue that you're instantly assuming that. What dungeon is this? The Azure Vault. You know, if that was the case, sure, but there's no allegation of that whatsoever. So yeah.
From Paul Breach, I don't think any human being would ever really want to witness that. You know, you're walking along down the care home, you know, you're going to put on the chaser, and suddenly Paul Breach is smooching your head.
Welcome to me.
It's just not an ideal scenario, and naturally, a lot of people called this out. People were saying that, Paul, this is very, very inappropriate behavior. But the thing is not only does this represent that, yet again, Paul has a creepy pattern of behavior, and even flexing that on TikTok in his live streams and videos of where he seems to tell the world that, yes, he is indeed a strange bloke. But also, this is a representation of Paul's lies. Because yes, shockingly enough, kissing random old people on the head who you're actually meant to be looking after, it's not really an appropriate thing. And people thought, yeah, I think this is bad, Paul. Please could you stop doing this? And rather than Paul responding and saying, you know what, boys, fair enough, it is a little bit weird what I did there. No. As you can probably tell, Paul once again made a response which was just absolutely horrific and only made him look, once again, a million times worse. Because yes, Paul changed his entire story, and rather saying that he gives them kisses, instead he changed it to he gives them air kisses? I'm not really sure.
They said like kisses them on the cheek in the air or something. Who cares? Yeah.
How this would go, but yes, Paul changed his story about a day later after people started calling him a freak for this.
Well, I didn't think I'd have to make this video after yesterday's, but who'd have thought the world, the internet goes, it's disgusting, look at Paul, he's vile, look at how disgusting. Should we do it? Should we look? Hold the resident's hand, palm to palm, not romantic. Hug a resident, side to side, arm around the shoulder, not bear hug, not romantic. And let's get to the side cheek, kiss on the, into the air, not on a person. Person, side cheek, look at that, the air.
That's how I greet that's how I give my mother-in-law kisses, so.
Wow, inappropriate with the air.
It's still inappropriate that way. That might actually be true. That might just him trying to backpedal because he might get in trouble at his job or something. I don't really know. Either way, like, you know, okay.
Paul, my friend,
I mean, it could be. I mean, considering how bad faith this video has been so far, I mean, I'm pretty apprehensive. Like, these accusations are so bad faith, and I'm not like, you know, I'm not like exactly jerking them off here.
That's not what you said. Literally a day before this TikTok.
I will give a side cheek kiss on the top of the head because I am an affectionate girl.
So yes, my friends, this is clearly once again another case of Paul telling big old porky pies. It's becoming a bit of a recurring trend at this point. This man simply cannot tell the truth.
I think this is the first lie you've showed us that he said. What were the other ones? Him having a meltdown because people are constantly asserting that he likes kids when he probably doesn't, or at least you have no evidence of it.
And I think this is just another case of Paul simply making what is a bad situation even worse. He does this in nearly every single incident that he's criticized in. Every single time he's called out, Paul has kind of like two mechanisms. He can either go for the mechanism number one of breaking down and deleting all of his social medias, or mechanism number two of lying, or mechanism number three, because yes, there is a bonus round here, of threatening to dox people and pretty much just being an outright bully. Because yes, this does move us into the greater sort of subject of Paul's responses to things, because whilst we have gone through quite a lot so far, the more terrible one we haven't really touched on, and that is, of course, doxing.
Give me your name. Tell me who you are and why you want to be added. I won't be adding you unless you send me a message. Because if it turns out you actually just want to be there to cause trouble, screen record me, attack the other people in the chat, then I will use that message you send me against you. Because I'm far too fucking nice. You think you can do all this without any recompense? Well, make sure everything's private, people.
Okay. It sounds like, okay. Listen, that's obviously not a good thing, but what he's saying is that like people are this guy really just fucking finessed his way over there. people are falsely claiming that I'm this, that, and the other thing, and then they're trying to troll me by becoming like getting in my friends list in some capacity. So I'm only going to do it if you're actually a person that'll show me like your identification, and then if you're actually just here to troll me, I'm going to dox you. Okay, I mean, again, shouldn't really be doing that, but I mean, if I was getting false accusations, people are constantly trolling me. I mean, I probably just wouldn't talk to people, but like, yeah, that's pretty much where that's coming from. Okay, I'm not really morally outraged by that. Oh, I'm stunned. I'm pissed.
Make sure everything is private.
I'm angry, dude. I'm shitting.
You post comments on my stuff. Make sure you're fully private.
All right, you got it, boss.
Because I'll also find a way. Unbelievable. Oh, and sir, thank you for letting me see your registration number. Thank you. That was very nice of you. Yeah, if I punched you, I need your advice. So this second account, I don't know what to do, whether it's going to be a dancing account or whether we'll use this account as an investigation account, like an official investigation account with like evidence or just people's names and who they are in society and what they bring to society and their views on other people.
Now, my friends, obviously that was a very long clip, but pretty much it's a 2-minute clip of Paul representing himself to be an absolutely horrific person, which he's done a million times at this point. But yes, all we really have here is Paul saying that he wants people's names, he wants to do an investigation, and just in general get people's private information. And what does Paul do?
What he's saying is that if you want to talk to me, you have to give me your information so that I know that you're not like a liar and I will dox you. I mean, he's giving you fair warning. That's not a good thing. But again, like, I mean, so far, this whole video has showed us zero evidence of anything while asserting that he's a bad guy, and now he kind of trying to fight against people talking about that. What is this guy, AFK? Oh, he's fucking AFK. Damn. Just lagging. No bueno.
With that private information? Well, as we've seen from his own Instagram story, he pretty much reveals the jobs of people, as he did here with somebody in education, and he outright screenshots people's profiles and just puts it out there for the entire world and his thousands of followers to see. This is a dangerous person. I have dubbed this man as the most dangerous creep on TikTok because he is. Think about it for a second. This guy has thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm sure that there is a creep in his comments or in his fan base that is willing to do absolutely anything they can to defend their god, their hero, Paul Breach.
I mean, honestly, probably not based on his audience. He's a lolcow, so probably isn't true, but maybe.
Snapshoteye. And I do have to say, if you are one of those people, please just let me pay for your therapy. Contact my business email down below, because no man should have to suffer like that. But seriously though, this is very dangerous behavior, and this is something that Paul commonly does. He likes to intimidate people. He likes to be a bully, rather than actually responding to criticism and allegations and debunking things, which, you know, he is entitled to do. He just...
Well, you have no evidence for anything you've said. What is he going to debunk? Well, I guess what I'm saying, like, you've showed no evidence of anything. You literally put on the screen 18 and 19-year-old girls, and you said that they were 16. Like, what am I supposed to do with that information? Like, what am I missing here? Like, how are you? Yeah, these girls are 16, and it says in their profile that they're fucking 18. It's like, what? How are you gonna make these like wild assertions, man? It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
Silences people by either threatening to sue them or threatening to, I guess, get their information, contact their employers, which he has done here. It's absolutely horrific, and it makes me think this guy, once again, is using his platform for the worst possible things. This is something which, like, Onision would do. This is something...
Bro, I've seen on my For You page. He's just a fucking cringe lord that likes to dance. Like, it's whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Which I remember where Gabby Hanna was called out for calling out other people publicly. It's just not behavior which influencers should be partaking in, but sadly, Snapshoteye is obviously doing that. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, have there actually been times of where Paul has defended himself? And yes, there have been well, let's just say there have been rumors and allegations out there once again.
Paul explaining why he liked a 16-year-old bikini pic. Okay.
That Paul actually creates accounts to defend himself, where he pretends to be another person, just a lovely big fan of Paul himself. And obviously, these are just wild rumors, but there is definitely a lot of screenshots and evidence out there to suggest that, yes, these things are definitely true. Take this Instagram account, for example. This is somebody who has 1 follower.
Oh, okay. You have screenshots to suggest that it's true that he has a fake account to run defense for himself.
And shock surprise, that 1 follower is Paul Breach. And they also have 1 post, which has 1 like and 1 comment, account. And yes, my friends, they are all Snapshoteye. And there have been rumors about who this account is, if it's a friend of Paul. But what I personally think is that Paul definitely either himself makes these accounts or tries to get his friends to make these accounts. Either way, there is a very sad individual behind these accounts, because as you can see, they outright defend Paul in any instance to when somebody DMs the accounts. And my friends, it doesn't end here. There are so many people out there claiming that accounts are Paul, and I think it's got into the realms of trolling. I think a lot of people themselves have made accounts to pose as made-up accounts from Snapshoteye, but there definitely is, right at the beginning of these things, a lot of mysterious things out there, which do kind of indicate that, yes, there is some suspicious activity going on in the defense of Paul, because no, this guy rarely defends himself, and when he actually does, as you have seen, all it is him just intimidating people, him threatening people, and when he does try and defend himself, I mean, it's seemingly from the perspective of an anonymous Instagram account, allegedly. But now, my friends, we have pretty much covered every single serious aspect here. This is a man who quite obviously uses his platforms in ways which are simply indefensible. He's dangerous, he clearly likes to use his following to get what he wants from people, and he clearly has a I would say a liking for the younger women out there, you know? I think he definitely has some form of...
Sure, but like so far you haven't really showed us anything that's like... You've really showed us nothing. They all seem to be of legal age, so who cares?
Taste in a certain way, which can go to realms of very dangerous territories. But I think with everything we've gone through today, we can absolutely come to the conclusion that Snapshoteye is one of, if not the most dangerous creep on TikTok. But my friends, the story doesn't end here. There are so many other things that we could have gone through today. A lot of lesser serious things, but definitely things which kind of, I guess, show this guy's character. I mean, for one, yes, there was a rumor, well, there was some story out there about how he tried to move in or get his girlfriend to move in when he had been in a relationship with this person for around 3 weeks. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. But definitely things which kind of, I guess, show this guy's character. I mean, for one, yes, there was a rumor, well, there was some story out there about how he tried to move in or get his girlfriend to move in when he had been in a relationship with this person for around 3 weeks.
Who cares? Why does that matter?
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff out there, and we are not going to go through absolutely everything.
Well, who cares? Because what does that matter? Oh, you tried to move in with a girl after only knowing her for 3 weeks. Okay, how old's the girl? She's an adult. Okay, so why do we care? Who gives a fuck? How does this make him a terrible, dangerous, wild, crazy, creep TikToker?
Here, because I really just kind of want to show you guys the more serious stuff here. The serious stuff that this guy completely is taking advantage of his big platform.
Bro, you didn't even... Like, you should prove this. What is this? Look at this. It says Snapshot grooms 17-year-old girls and gets them pregnant when he was near 30. This doesn't like he was near 30. The guy was like 27. Like, it's not good, but we don't even know if this is true. Like, can you just show us like proof? You're operating on like one. It's just fucking crazy, bro. Okay, I guess okay.
This guy gets thousands of live viewers in live streams alone, but also millions of views. And yes, most of these people are hate watching, but you can't deny that there are people out there that do like this guy. People like this person right here, called The Walking Dead Addict, saying 17 is legal, so I'm not sure what point you're trying to prove. Can you please?
It doesn't mean that he likes them. It just means that he's not wrong. Like, yeah, technically it's legal. It's on. I mean, it shouldn't be legal, but like But my big problem is that a lot of people who are like, oh man, look at these guys doing these bad things. None of these guys are actually like staunchly advocating for the raise of age of consent. You know what I mean? Like, there's no real advocacy for it. We just like to complain about it and then we don't do anything about it. So it's like, yeah, it sucks. It's not good. But like, if the law, like it's a literal system that says this is an okay thing to do, like, what do you want me to tell you? This guy was, I mean, you want to talk about fuck? Oh, he groomed a 17-year-old, but she didn't, or at least it doesn't seem like it. Like, my thing is that if you're going to claim that he groomed her, like, what about the law grooming him into thinking this is okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not ideal, but fuck. Like, this person's not even defending them.
Dead Addict saying 17 is legal, so I'm not sure what point you're trying to prove. Can you please change the username? I'm a big Walking Dead lover. Please do not take the name with defenses of Paul Breach's alleged horrific behavior.
Alleged.
I mean, this is just embarrassing, but it's a
the fact that you've probably said like 40 or 50 times this video that these are just allegations in your opinion. You should really like, why did you make the video? I really feel like, why would you make this video if like this is the way that the energy you're carrying here?
Great representation of the types of people that follow Paul Breach. And I understand a lot of people out there will just say, well, maybe that account was Snapshoteye himself. And I think that's a great way to kind of represent everything we've spoken about today. This is a man who I don't think can be defended, and I'm not asking for any form of response from Snapshoteye, but if we're going to end this video by saying anything, Paul, listen to me. All I want you to do is, rather than respond to everything that I've said in this video, rather than making a response to any other YouTuber, just have a realization that a lot of people out there don't like you for good reason, for all of the reasons that we've gone through in today's video. As I said earlier, you could have quite easily defended yourselves and debunked a lot of things very easily, but...
He probably did. Well, first of all, there's no evidence. So you can't debunk no evidence. That's number one. There's no actual evidence. So you showed me us pictures of 18 and 19-year-old girls that, and said, he was talking to kids. Like, okay. That's number one. Number two, he probably did respond multiple times, and then this is just the way that he's responding now after the fact.
You literally made the situations a million times worse by giving the most suspicious responses I have ever seen. And I cover this sort of stuff on a regular basis, but you, my friend, are one of the worst cases at actually dealing with allegations and serious situations. So my friend, my associate, I understand that there may be people out there that have treated you inappropriately and have harassed your family and friends, but for the most part, the actual ordinary people that don't like you for good reason. And I think rather than biting everybody's hands off when they criticize you, you just simply need to realize that, and realize that maybe you are the bad guy in this situation, and maybe you are the most dangerous creep on TikTok. But that is the ending of the video, my friends. Thank you so much for coming along. I will just have the request, could you please like this video and subscribe? Because, you may have gotten to the end and you may have forgotten, and if you could comment down your thoughts below, I would very much appreciate it. And, I'm going to make the like and the subscribe worthy here, and say, if you like and subscribe right now, get this video to 25,000 likes, I will do another video going into everything else that we haven't today. This is more the serious stuff, the representation of who this man truly is, but there is a lot of funny stuff out there, and we could probably do a more chill, funny video going over everything. So if you want to do that, please like this video and comment your thoughts down below. But that is the ending. Social medias are all in the description, and also please go watch my last video, which was age restricted, or in fact go watch my last video about TikTokers, who is a very creepy mum, and I honestly, I'm quite sad this video didn't do too well, because quite like this video, it's about another TikTok creep using their platform in horrific ways. It's weirdly becoming a bit of a trend at this point. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe we need to ban TikTok. Please let me know all your thoughts down below. Have a cracking new year, everybody, and I'm sorry if this video was very long and drawn out. I just wanted to start it off, as in 2023, with a big one. Peace out. I've got juice on my face, which you probably can't see right now, so I'm gonna go have a little wash, because I'm a stinky little boy right now.
Yeah, that was something else, man. Unfortunate that everything sexual assault and is related is so, like, this is what all, bro, it's crazy that, like, this is content to people. It's like sexual assault is content to people. And like allegations like this are so, like, people are so content brain that I feel like they look at something that with any allegation, even if it's not true, and they make a video about it, and like boom, there's got to be a video. Oh, this must be true. Like, it's crazy. It just feels so disingenuous. It's one of those things where, like, hey, they'll talk about something that's like, this is a good example of a bad person. Then all of a sudden, like, oh, I got a lot of views for talking about, like, a potential predator. Oh, okay, well, let me find another one. And then all of a sudden you're just looking for predators. It's a bad feedback loop to get in.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.